You are listening to the Your Empty Nest Coach podcast with Coach Christine, episode number 33, How to Prepare Your Home for the Empty Nest. This podcast is for you, a mother who years ago walked away from a career to raise your child. Sure, you've been busy volunteering, carpools, maybe part-time work, and taking care of everyone. But your main gig? That has been your child. Now that they are in their later years of high school, the empty nest looms ahead for you and it is freaking you out. I've been there and I get it. Together, we'll turn our freaking out energy into freaking awesome energy. Hello, my future empty nest friend. What are you sitting on right now? Sorry, I wanted to ask you a question that you weren't expecting. A quick reminder that all of my episodes are brought to you by my free 7-day program, The Empty Nest, A Guide to Uncovering My Future. And to be clear, we are talking about your future, not mine. Hop on over to my website, youremptynestcoach.com, and sign up today. Look for the link that says Uncover Your Future. I have a guest today, and in preparation for this episode, I came up with 2 follow-up episodes. How exciting! Today, we are talking about preparing your home for the empty nest, and my guest is April Force Pardo. April Force Pardo first became interested in design back in her childhood bedroom, which led her to starting her own interior design studio in Maryland. Along the way, she earned a Master of Arts in Publication Design and worked in both graphic design and event planning positions. These diverse opportunities have trained her eye and design skills from paper to space and led her to open her studio in 2008. April uses her 7 signature steps to help you design an empty nest that makes it easy to nurture yourself, enhance your connections with loved ones, and provide you peace of mind for the days and years ahead. While many of April's clients have shared how much they love working with her, her favorite moment was when a client told April that working with her was like having a knowledgeable, trustworthy, and fun friend who designed her home like a best friend would. That's why April Force Pardo is your designer bestie, because she's here to hold your hand through the sometimes complicated, sometimes tricky design decisions and help you regret-proof your empty nest years. Welcome to the Your Empty Nest Coach podcast, April.
Hello, thanks for having me.
I am thrilled to have you here today. My friends, how much fun is it that April reached out to me to be on the show? It is funny. Some of us won't want to change anything in the house because we want everything to stay the way it has always been, while other mothers can't wait for their child to move out so they can use it as a room for a hobby they look forward to doing. 2 extremes, aren't they? While, yes, thinking about your child's personal space is one thing. What about the areas that you can start looking at now, start dreaming about and preparing for the future? Like, let's start with the master bedroom. Whether you are parenting with a partner or parenting solo, don't we all want this to be a retreat for us? For many of us, this space is completely overlooked. From old mattresses and sheets to no colors on the walls, the small things that can make a large impact are right there in front of us. So, April, what are some things you recommend we begin thinking about for our master bedroom space?
Well, I think, as you just said, this space is so important because it is often forgotten. It is not a public space, so most people don't put time and energy into it. And if you did decorate it or set it up when you first were married or moved into the home, it's now been 18, 20 years, and maybe you haven't done anything but buy new sheets. I think that this space can go a long way toward enhancing your relationship and your own self-care. And so, like you said, if there's nothing on the walls and you have an old mattress, it's just not a space that you want to go to and that feels like a retreat. So the things I suggest, a couple of the things are purely decorative, but a lot of them are relationship building activities too, which is what I like about this space. The first one I say is to create like a dream list, either on your own or with your partner, and figure out what would you love to have in your bedroom? What would you love it to look like? If you could have anything, do you wish you had a space to read? Do you wish you had more comfortable pillows? Do you wish you had better lighting? Even looking at pictures of bedrooms that are in Houzz or Pinterest and kind of dream, like just put it all out there and dream together. What could it be? And so that's just a fun exercise to open your mind. And then into a practical step would be looking at, like you said, that mattress and bedding, overlooked, easily in a rut sometimes. And so physically, obviously, your mattress is going to help you sleep much better. Your bedding is just something you should be changing frequently just for cleanliness. And I like to say, use a mattress shopping trip as a date. Like, why not go on a date together, grab lunch, get a glass of wine, go try out some mattresses and really, make an improvement in your room, in your health, in your sleep, and make it a place that you want to go spend time and read a book and do other romantic things and make it enjoyable. And then sheets too. Get the best that you can, get 2 pairs so you just have efficiency of use. And so that's sort of a practical side. And then the lighting, I think, is something people don't think about, right? Most bedrooms have a light in the center of the room and you put a lamp maybe on either side of your bed, maybe. And it's probably too small. And so lighting is so important. So I often tell clients to think about, if they're doing this on their own, kind of go through your morning routine or your evening. Where do you wish you had more light? Like, really think about light in an intentional way. And when you're putting your jewelry on and you're opening something at your dresser, can you see? Or are you standing in front of the only light in your room and you can't find anything and you're always moving your jewelry box over? So maybe a beautiful lamp on your dresser. Like, think about strategically, where do I need more light? Bedside lamps are often way too puny, if they're even there. And so if you like to read in bed, this is a must-have. You need a great lamp that's going to literally shine light on your book, or sconces and a lamp. Lighting is underserved, and you can add maybe sconces around the room to get that overall illumination. Maybe update that center light so it's a little more attractive too. And so lighting is 100% important in every space, but in dimmers, so we can set a mood.
Oh, I love dimmers.
On everything. So think about what you're doing, how it can be better lit. If you've never thought about your lighting, you may be in for a really nice surprise in that you might need 2 or 3 new lamps and you've got it down. So that's another thing. And then the mood and the feeling through the colors in the room. And so if you haven't painted that room in 15, 20 years, even if you love the color, it probably needs a refresh. And so thinking through the feeling you want in the room is what I think about when I think about color palettes. So what's the feeling? Is it calm and serene? Is it romantic and energized? And use color to enhance that. And the tip I have is, once you select your bedding, and if you're doing new duvets or comforters, pull a color from that for your wall color. And so pick that wall color second, or wallpaper, whatever you're going to do. But these things, they seem like material objects or simple colors, but completely can change the mood of a room and the feeling of the room and the desire to go into a room and spend time in a room. It's amazing how just the right colors can soothe you and give you that environment that feels good and that you and your partner want to retreat to at night and enjoy. Because this is a room, I feel like, even though it's a private room, even if the kids are gone and when they're gone, you can just say, let's spend 2 hours in the bedroom tonight. We're going to read, we're going to hang out, we might get romantic. Like, we're just going to make it our space. We don't have to hang out in the living room all the time, right? But if your bedroom is old and outdated, you're probably not going to want to do that, right? So the goal is to do that. And then another thing I like that can be a great couple activity is thinking about the art on the walls in your bedroom, whether there is something that is so old that you don't even notice it anymore, or maybe you have no art. Think about, and not to force it, because if that's not your thing, it's not going to work. But if you're interested in art and you both like art, find local artists, go to local galleries, go start following someone, make an adventure of it to go and find new art and see new art and go to parties. And not that you have to spend tons of money, but find something that you love and that interests you and put that on your walls. So it also makes you feel good and is something you both like and cherish. And that will liven up a space immediately. You know, the art on the walls is a big, big deal. So those are a couple of things I love because you can do them as a couple and you're also enhancing a space together. And so that's another date activity. And finally, I would say, think about how you can splurge maybe a little bit in that space. And I think about maybe hotels you've been in that you loved, or even things you've seen on movies or TV shows. Can you add a coffee station? Can you add space for like a masseuse to come in once a month to do couples massage? Can you upgrade that bedding to something even more luxurious? And so what different splurges can you put in there? Because I feel like you deserve it. It's your space, make it special. And so whatever that is to you, I had a client recently we had a custom jewelry armoire made for all of her treasures. So, I mean, that's a splurge. And so what kind of things can you do to treat yourself in the bedroom that is going to enhance that space and enhance the relationship? And just, I want everyone to have a bedroom that makes them want to retreat there and enjoy time.
Oh my gosh, I love the splurge of a coffee station. Like, I'm all in.
Yeah, or whatever it is for you, right? A beverage center, yeah. So, there are ways to bring something special into that space instead of making it just the place where you sleep.
Yes, all great. And it's so hysterical because I'm looking at your background and my background, and I just moved into this room that has been empty. So I don't even have my nice bookcases behind. So the stark difference.
That's okay. You're starting. It's okay.
We have the before and after within the video, right?
Yeah, that's true.
It's great. Yours is so calming and nice. If you're watching this video, people, sorry. And April, if I'm right, you have an entire blog post about this. Is that correct?
I do.
Great. And I will link that in my show notes for my listeners.
Okay, great. Awesome. Yeah, because there's a downloadable too, like a free worksheet people can grab and to work through some of these steps and think through them.
Wonderful. And I love, anybody who's listened to my podcast more than once knows I love dreaming. So this is good. Good stuff.
Have fun.
All right. So as someone, April, who helps empty nesters with their interior design, is there one go-to space that you feel will make the largest impact with the least amount of effort just to get us started?
Okay. So when I think of the home in general, I think of creating one cozy space I often say just for you, but it could be for you and your partner too, since we were just talking about the bedroom, where you can create a space to sit and relax and maybe be surrounded by a couple of things you love. So I talk about this a lot, creating that sort of corner with a comfortable chair, maybe an ottoman, a side table, a lamp, a pillow, a throw, a vase of flowers. These might be things you already have, but you rearrange them so you create this cozy space. It could be in your bedroom. It could be in your family room. It could be on your screened-in porch now that if you have nice weather where you are now. So creating a space that's just for you, that is the same idea as the retreat of the master bedroom. It's like a mini retreat for you where you're going to go and read, drink tea, drink coffee, have a glass of wine, have a conversation with a friend, listen to a podcast, dream about your bedroom. And if it's something that you want to have to be enhancing your relationship, maybe it's a pair of chairs off the kitchen or somewhere. Maybe when you're reimagining your home a little bit, if you're thinking empty nest years, maybe you're reimagining spaces and creating that somewhere. But that, I think, is something that someone can do in a weekend. It's just a matter of looking at your rooms differently and saying, I don't have a favorite place where I love to just go sit and do the things I need to do to nurture myself and to take care of myself. And in the bedroom, I would say new sheets, like 100%. I think people are like, just living with too many old sheets. And so go out, splurge on some really nice new sheets. I mean, that's really simple and luxurious to get into a nice fresh bed. But in the home, just thinking about, do I have a space where I like to go and sit and get comfortable and relax? I have a space in my home like that. And I have a girlfriend that will call me and say, are you in your chair with your coffee right now? Like, yes, I am. Because that's where I usually am if I have a break, right? So find a space that makes you feel good.
That's awesome. I have a space, but I don't use it enough. And I'm really bad about it. So I have a hammock in what would be most people's dining room.
Okay.
Because we don't host parties. And I was like, let's put a hammock there. And I do, when I sit there, I love it, but I need to sit there more. It's a good thing.
Yeah. Well, and think about the things that would make you want to sit there more. That's what I would say. Like, if you're not, there's like, what is not there? Or what is it about it that makes, and try to bring those things into the space so that you will be more inclined to use it.
You're right. I need a bookshelf. You just solved it for me. Thank you. Awesome. So here's another question. And this is fun, I think, hopefully. And I've probably made all of them. Hey, look at my wall. Can you share maybe some fun, common decorating mistakes for my listeners?
Yes, I can. And these are things that I see all too often, but they're easily fixed. That's the key that I love about these. So they're all about placement and scale, and 90% of the time, that's the problem I'm seeing. So people hang their art too high. And so I often give a guideline of art in general. In most spaces, the center of your art should be 60 inches from the floor. And you can imagine if you have a 40-inch tall piece, then, the center of that is 20 inches. So measure 60 up from the floor and put 20 inches of the art like right there, because that puts it at most people's eye level.
Gotcha.
And that's where we want our art. We want it at eye level. And so that's a general guideline, but most people hang their art way too high. They take the distance between whatever the piece is and the ceiling, and they put it in the center of that space instead of working from the ground up.
Gotcha.
So we need to work from the ground up. So that's one thing you can do. And then conversely, people often hang their draperies and curtains too low. they hang them right at the tip top of the window trim instead of going almost all the way to the ceiling and raising that eye up a little bit and elongating the space. So it's kind of an opposite problem. And so the draperies are too short and they're hung too low. And so that scale needs to be gone up, and the opposite of the art. And then the other scale issue is often area rugs too small. And they're sometimes placed floating in the middle of, like there might be a coffee table on it, and then all the other furniture is like 12 inches away from the rug. So it should really have all the furniture, front legs or more on a rug in like a living space, or go to encompass almost the whole room if you can, with like a 12-inch border or something. So rugs are too small, art's too high, and curtains are too low. Those are kind of the three things that visually enhance a space if you change those.
That's awesome. And yes, guilty of the curtains for sure.
Well, you don't know what you don't know. I mean, and so it's not, and I think those are, like you said, kind of fun. It's not to criticize someone or put them down. I mean, it's certainly not like the end of the world, but those are things you can do, and you may realize how much of a difference it makes.
Absolutely. Great. That's awesome. And the artwork, it's funny. I have noticed that. I work on a campus where we have an art museum, so they'll bring art and place it. So I have noticed art more often than I used to. We don't have art in my house. We need art. You can't hang it
too high if you don't have art. That's right. That's one way to solve the problem.
Okay, so here's an advice. If you could get all future empty nesters in one ginormous room and give them one piece of advice, what would it be?
It would be that I think your home has so much of an impact on how you feel about yourself and how you feel about your life. And I think especially in transitions, such as an empty nest transition, your home can do so much to support you. I think that it's not viewed that way. I think sometimes decorating is viewed as purely aesthetic, but I firmly believe that from the way our rooms are arranged to the way the color and the fabrics we use enhance your mood, they enhance your life, they enhance, if you're looking to build connections during those empty nest years with new friends and entertaining, your home can completely be set up to support that and changed and tweaked so that you feel really comfortable to go ahead and have those people over and have those connections. We talked about the bedroom, enhancing that can, I feel like, firmly enhance your marriage. It's not like a miracle, but it will make a big difference. The environment you live in definitely impacts your mood. And so I would say if you have a couple of years ahead, stop and think and look at your home and go, okay, maybe right now we can't do these things, but in like 4 or 5 years, we're going to be ready to decide, are we staying? Are we going? And if either way, let's enhance the home to serve our needs. Do we want coffee together every morning? Do we want to have dinner parties? What do we want to do? Do we want the kids to come home? Are we going to create a patio so that they enjoy coming home? Like, really use your home as a tool. So start looking at it in that way. And if you are going to be selling it, even in 10 years, I always say, make the improvements now so you can enjoy them.
Yeah.
And kind of go through that list and think, okay, if I am going to sell in 10 years, look at the big things, the flooring, the shutters, the front door, any of the architectural elements, the painting, like what things can we improve now? And then if we do it in 5 to 10 years, they're not going to be so old that we can sell and still enjoy it. So think of your home as just such an asset into how you feel about your life. I think it's that shift in a mindset can make it maybe be something that you put on a priority list then, I think. And then there's always ways to find advice on how to do those things, but it's just, you have to understand that it can make a big difference.
It's, as you were talking too, I was thinking a lot of my audience in particular, their children are still in high school and still going through college. So they're still in the transition. And the one thing I've noticed is we want to jump into our dreams, which might be 5-10 years in advance. And some of the things that you can do now while your child is transitioning are these things, which is really nice. And they benefit future you. So like, you can still use your GPS. You can still use your future you. Where are they going to be? All this dreaming. And let's get the house ready. And let's get your mind ready. And all these other things ready to just be able to fly ourselves when we're on the other side.
Yes, absolutely. Let it be a tool and an asset and enhance everything, whether you're staying or going. But yeah, you're right. Let it, and then it's done. And you're just off to enjoy the things you need to enjoy, and your home is not a burden and it supports you. And so there's just so much you can do in your home that can turn things around and support you. And so I think it's a great tool.
It is. It really is. And there's so many times I just been on my heart lately where everyone I'm talking to seems to be like, but I want to do things now. I want a new career. I want a new job. I'm like, well, we're just, as I think this podcast episode will have been out where I talk about simmering. We're kind of in the simmer right now where things bubble up and they bubble down, and we're just in the simmer so we can take care of these things. So if you're having trouble sitting in the simmer, this is something you can do. So good stuff, April. Thank you.
I like thinking of it as the simmer too. I like that.
You got to bring out the flavor. You need time, right?
You do.
Okay. So is there anything else you would like to share with my amazing future empty nest friend?
I'm so happy for them too, by the way. They're on their way. I wanted to share that I offer a video service to help take clients through my 7 steps of design. And I just bring that up so that if people hear all this advice and want more information, I can work with people around the world via video to go through some design problems and solve challenges. So you can link to that if you want on your notes, but it's a great service to help get people started and help them maybe dream or figure out what they need.
Awesome. I will definitely link to it in my notes. So yeah, she could look at my wall and be like, no.
Yeah, exactly. So we go through all the steps and it's a great service, and it can get you started and get your rooms kind of pulled together a little bit.
Wonderful. That's great. Okay. And before you go, I have 4 questions that I ask every guest of mine. So first, waffles or pancakes?
Waffles.
Excellent.
Waffles.
Any reason?
Well, I mean, they're just better than pancakes. I don't know. I had waffles at lunch yesterday. I had a choice and I was like, oh, I definitely want waffles. They're just the nooks, the butter sits in the little holes. I just love it.
Awesome. What is one item you can't live without and why?
Okay, this is a tough question.
It is, right?
Yes. I mean, it's almost like impossible. But okay, I think it is going to be my sunglasses.
Really? I like it.
Yes. And I have 2 really great pairs of sunglasses that I love, really nice, because I wear them almost every single day, all the time. Winter, spring, summer, fall. My eyes are really sensitive, and then they're an accessory too. So it's a combination of need. I mean, I literally have them on before I walk out the door so that no sun is to glare on my eyeballs. And then they hide a lot of sins too sometimes. So definitely I would say sunglasses.
Awesome. I like that answer. That's good. Your all-time favorite movie and any particular reason?
That's also a really tough question, Christine. I would say I did get to think about this one, thankfully. Notting Hill, which I just realized after I was thinking about it, that it is now its 20th anniversary this year.
Oh my gosh.
Which I wouldn't have known if I hadn't looked at it. But it is. So I love that movie. It's just sweet. It's funny. The accents, the love story, the family story. It's just, I think it has everything rolled into one. It just makes me feel good.
Awesome. Love it. All right. And finally, you have an hour of alone time. No one will bother you. What is your go-to thing to do?
Well, I will probably have a good book and a glass of wine and probably my favorite chair. Sometimes Netflix, but probably a good book if I could get peace and quiet, a good book and a glass of wine. Yep.
Awesome. So this has been so much fun, April. I'm just so glad you reached out to me, and I'm so glad you're here.
Yes, it has been a lot of fun. And I love your podcast so much. So I'm so happy to be able to just contribute a little bit.
Oh, thank you. Yay, hugs.
Yes.
Well, thanks again for being here. And thanks for all you do to help empty nesters on their transition. Go team. And thanks for sharing your knowledge with the mothers in my audience.
Oh, you are more than welcome. Thank you so much for having me.
Awesome. Please don't hesitate to fly on over to our Facebook group. Our name is Green Popsicle Sticks. Want to know why? Listen to episode number 17. Or head to my website, youremptynestcoach.com/community for links to join our flock. Why should you join our group? Well, the adjustment to not having your kiddos at home full-time isn't always easy, but it sure can be a ton more fun with a flock of friends. We look forward to seeing you there. If you're ready to begin the journey to find future you and use her as your GPS, definitely sign up for my free program, The Empty Nest, A Guide to Uncovering My Future. Episode 13 covers the high-level concepts of that program, if you would like to check it out. To dive deep in the concepts, take the free program as I provide videos and worksheets to assist you on your journey. The questions I have for you in this episode are, 1, is your home your retreat? And 2, have you thought about your home in the empty nest? As always, I provide content to make you think, my empty nest friend. My hope is that I am able to provide you with thoughts that positively impact your life. You'll find the show notes for this and every episode on my website. My next episode's title is Your Child's Room on College Breaks. We're going to stay with the home theme for a couple weeks here. Don't forget to subscribe to this podcast. It is free and you'll be notified when I post a new episode every Friday. If my show has helped you in any way, please share it with one other person you think it will help too. You'll be giving them a free gift. Thanks for your time and energy with that. And thanks so much for listening, my empty nest friend. Remember, you are amazing. Hello, my future empty nest. Don't forget to subscribe.